Hi, I'm Stephanie Laska. I lost 140 pounds and created Dirty Lazy Keto. Thanks for joining me here on the YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and enjoy the show. Today, we're going to be talking about loose skin, elasticity, and loose skin. Anyone out there interested in this topic? I know I am. Here we go. There's my loose skin to start off the party. So I'm curious, am I the only one, or do some of you maybe have some saggy or loose skin from weight loss? You're not alone if you do. But here's my question for you. Is the loose skin something that you're worried about? Even if you haven't lost weight and have loose skin right now, it might be something that's kind of stressing you out and you're thinking about it. So if that sounds like you, you've come to the right place. Today's video is going to answer all of your questions and more. So here's what I want to promise you though about today's video, is that the advice and the information I'm going to share with you, this is all from my personal experience. For reals. So I'm going to show you my before and after picture. Hopefully there's not too much of a glare on it. There's me in swimsuit A and there's me in swimsuit B. So quite a big difference, okay? So this is my firsthand experience managing loose skin and figuring out what to do about it. And this is all my non-scientifical, that's a real word, perspective, okay? So none of this is me like as a scientist or a researcher. I'm just going to share with you what's actually worked for me. So that might be different from what you hear on social media. Just saying. But that's okay, right? I want to give it to you from my perspective, not just what you can already find online. So hopefully that is meaningful to you. But I would like you to be engaged in this presentation as well. I'd like you to share in the comments during the video. I want you to talk and interact and tell me what your thoughts are and what's working for you and your own stories. Because at the end of the video, I'm going to be picking someone at random from the comments section to receive a free, wait for it, Dirty Lazy Keto cookbook. Okay, so it could be you, and I'll even let you choose. I'm going to choose somebody at random. So you can choose between, the brand new Dirty Lazy Keto 5-ingredient cookbook. You might choose the No Time to Cook cookbook, the Dirt Cheap cookbook, or the original cookbook. So it's up to you. Whichever one you want, I will choose someone from the comments. So you have to comment, right? Otherwise, I won't know who to pick. See, I'm trying to have a little fun here. Life's too short. We can't take all of our like skin too seriously. Okay, I know you laughed at that because that's just embarrassing. So the outline for today, basically it's in 3 parts. We're going to start with why loose skin happens to begin with. We're going to discuss the problems that come about that are caused by loose skin. And then number 3, where I'll spend most of our time together talking about what to do about it. Because that's really the problem, right? Is what to do about it. So let's blaze through numbers 1 and 2 so we can spend most of our time on 3, what to do. So in case you're not familiar, why loose skin is happening to us, I like to kind of think of it like a beach ball, okay? You can't just, let's see if I can pull this out. Oh, there we go. So here's our like skin when we're young and fabulous, right? Like everything's tight and fresh and crisp and beautiful. There's no wrinkles, right? And then let's say over time we age and we start losing weight. Those are good things, right? Maybe not the aging, but definitely, for me anyway, losing weight. So here's the problem though with dramatic sound effects. Here's the problem with my body anyway. I lost 140 pounds. So for me, that's like taking, I don't know, half of my entire body weight and going like this to it. I know. Like when you think about it like that, like suddenly the loose skin thing, you start going, okay, now I kind of get why the loose skin thing might happened to Stephanie and to other people. Because my body went from being, close to 300 pounds now to half that size pretty quickly. And then this is what I was left with. I know, it kind of makes me want to cry and laugh at the same time. Because it's funny, kind of. But there are parts of my body that actually do look like this. I know, so attractive. Now, I wish there was a secret way that we could just go and blow our bodies back up again and then go back to that lovely, shapes where it was nice and smooth and round. But that's not quite how things work. I mean, our skin is an organ, so it's live. It's an organ all by itself. I think it's the largest organ in the body, but it's alive. It can't just do what we want and bounce back instantly. All those cells, they're still there. The skin is there's just a lot less underneath it, but all the skin is still alive, and it's been that way for a long time, right? It took me anyway, decades to expand my body and to get to 300 pounds. And then when I went and deflated myself by losing so much of the fat that was underneath the skin, now I'm stuck with this. And the skin is not as elastic as it used to be. The shape of skin, it can change, it's true, but I'm kind of done with that balloon. I can't really fix that. Or can I? Let's find out today. I think that age has a lot to do with this. I mentioned it. Genetics. Some people are just blessed with having better elasticity than others. But hopefully, we can start to blow up our skin a little bit and change the shape, even though it definitely kind of loses its form and shape over time with weight loss. So I realize this is a problem. That's why we want to talk about it today. And this question comes up a lot, and I feel like it's kind of embarrassing for a lot of us. People don't want to necessarily admit it. They like to pretend everything's just perfect, and they don't want to complain. But the reality is there's a lot of problems that are caused by loose skin, and that's number 2. During my journey, I can speak for myself, I felt like a real lack of confidence when I started to have my body get deflated. It's not attractive, right? There are parts of my body which, do I need to spell it out? Some of them started to look really, really sad. And I'm I started to feel kind of like poor body image. I felt nervous. I felt uncomfortable, especially when I would look at myself without clothes on. I'm what happened to me? It's not like I was that thrilled with weighing 300 pounds, but at least my body was curvy and shapely, and I didn't have all these strange, deflated things happening. So it was a real transition for me. I remember the first time that I wanted to wear a tank top. I remember, putting it on thinking, oh, look, I've been losing all this weight. Everything's going great. I should start, wearing different types of clothes. And I remember seeing, like I pointed out earlier, and I was kind of joking at myself, but I remember seeing so much loose skin that was just hanging off my arm and pulling it and it not bouncing back. That and other parts of my body. And I remember just feeling kind of disappointed. That's not fair. I did a lot of hard work. I lost, 10 pounds a month for a year and a half straight, roughly. Some months a little bit different, but I remember feeling kind of confused about it. Especially when it comes to swimsuits, right? I remember putting on a bikini for the first time. I think it was my 40th birthday, and we were going to Las Vegas to a pool party. And I thought, well, I guess this could be the moment where I wear a bikini in public. Yeah, that was kind of a crazy situation because my body didn't look like everyone else's. Yes, I'd lost a lot of weight. I wasn't at goal weight at that time. I was in the process, and I felt good about myself, but I also felt very confused at the same time. I felt self-conscious. I've noticed that my body had a very different shape than other people. And I started to realize that I needed to adjust some of my expectations for what my body might look like as I was losing weight. I mentioned I was turning 40. I was in the middle of my weight loss journey. And I had big pockets of loose skin that were starting to develop. And I admit to you, I was feeling kind of, like betrayed. Like, that's so not fair. Because when I was younger, we've all been on a weight loss train at one point, on and off, on and off. When I was younger and I would lose, 20 pounds or something, everything bounced back. And I didn't have these issues. But all of a sudden at age 40, there was all sorts of problems. And I'm like, what the heck? Like that, it kind of angered me. It frustrated me. And it was something I had to really face and get used to. Now, it wasn't just the clothes or the vanity about losing weight or having the changes in my skin. I also felt some uncomfortable situations develop, especially when I was doing a lot of exercise. And some of you might relate to this, but things happen when your vajiggle-jaggle is trying to work out and you're trying to run or you're trying to exercise or you're out in the heat or you're doing all those types of things. When you have big pockets of loose skin, they flap around. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if this has happened to you. I had chafing. I had rashes. Thank goodness I didn't have an infection, but that can happen, right? Because you have folds of skin and pockets, and loose skin does all sorts of strange things to your body. So I'm curious, I'm kind of putting myself out there, but have any of you experienced any of these things? Have you experienced the pain or the discomfort, the chaffing or chafing? Have you had rashes or infections? Did you suffer from maybe a poor self-image or disappointment? Did you feel frustrated or kind of let down that you had worked hard or starting to lose weight, but your body is not quite cooperating? I'm curious how many people out there that are watching and listening might have something they can relate to there. And so I hope that you'll share in the comments and, tell us how that made you feel. Now, number 3 for our talk today is really where I wanted to spend most of our time, because I think people want to know, okay, yeah, we got the loose skin. It doesn't feel good. It feels kind of creepy, floppy, itchy, whatever. What do I do about it? Right? Like, you need a plan. And I'm sure that you've Googled this. So have like 380 million other people. You're not alone. But there's really just a few options from my perspective. So let me get into that with you. I feel like there's 4 choices for me. So I'm going to call them A, B, C, and D. Now I'm curious which one of these sounds the best to you. Okay? So you'll have to keep note of this and then put in the comments. So choice A for me, what are you going to do about the loose, floppy, irritating skin? Here's choice A. Seriously. Choice A is to go on a donut diet. That is a choice. Choice A, go on a donut diet. You might decide you don't want to be all floppy and have loose skin, and you could just gain weight to fill it back in. That's true. You could do that. That was not an option that I chose, but it is an option. It crossed my mind. I'll be honest with you. I'm like, I don't know. Is this worth it? Do I really want to be all floppy? I had to think about it. Also with regard to the donut diet, I just made that up, by the way. Some people, I think, they get so stressed about this topic about the loose skin. They get so nervous and so anxious about it that they choose to, they do not lose weight because they're so afraid of the loose skin. It almost is an impetus, and what is it called? Impetus to their success, because they get in their head a little bit like, oh, well, I kind of wanted to lose weight and I kind of wanted to do dirty, lazy keto, but I don't know. If I lose, 50 pounds, then I'll have loose skin and then I'll have to do blah, 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 blah. And then I don't want to do that. So then they just stop. Could that be you? Does loose skin scare you that much? I don't know. So that's choice A. Now I'm going to give you a hint. This was not my choice. But if that's your choice, that's okay. There's no right or wrong answers here, but I think there are 4 choices that people tend to push themselves into. That's kind of the fun one, but whatever. So choice B. I think choice B is to be experimental. There's a lot of different things out there in the market, and people ask me about all of them all the time. So I'm gonna go over them and just give you my 2 cents. First of all, there's a lot of supplements in the market, right? There's all sorts of people trying to sell you stuff online. And who knows what the deal is? You know, people talk a lot about collagen. They talk about amino acids. They'll take some kind of specialty this, specialty that. And I don't know. Does it make a difference? I will give you my opinion. I did not use this stuff or any other supplements. I did not take vitamins or supplements or minerals, any of that thing. You might choose to. You might choose to be more experimental. That's up to you. It wasn't that I believe it doesn't work. I just felt like it wasn't the right choice for me. And the research that I did, I felt was inconclusive. As you know, the FDA doesn't evaluate supplements. So the FDA cannot comment whether or not these things are effective. I've asked several doctors their opinion. I have a family member who's a dermatologist. I've asked that person their opinion. And they all kind of say, well, nobody really knows. Probably wouldn't hurt, but I don't know. It's up to you. Like a really loosey-goosey on medical perspective. Now, I know that in the comments, some people might get mad and be like, oh, it totally works. It's amazing. Changed my life. Well, good. Then there is your answer. For you, choice B, to be more experimental, especially when it comes to supplements or collagen or vitamins. For you, it's working. So there you have it. I'm not going to tell you you're right or wrong. I just think you have to figure out what is going to be the right strategy for you. There are a lot of people out there that will take advantage of you when it comes to loose skin, and they'll try to sell you specialty creams, expensive powders, expensive supplements. I don't believe in any of that. I don't think, for me, Dirty Lazy Keto or weight loss needs to cost a bunch of money. So I get a little annoyed when I see that kind of approach. That's just my opinion. I told you I was going to give it to you honestly today from my experience. And that's okay. The third thing under the be experimental, and I know some of you are probably already putting this in comments. And this is a big fancy like $10 word, which I hate using, but it's pronounced autophagy. Autophagy. And I put it up here so that you could Google it if you wanted to. But autophagy basically is just a Greek word. It comes from a Greek word that means self-devouring. And that is where the cells regenerate by kind of eating at themselves. Okay, that sounds gross, first of all. But who knows? Some people swear by it. I don't know who these people are. But the word on the street when it comes to autophagy, practice that, autophagy, is that they practice intermittent fasting and fasting. And people that practice autophagy, they believe, by eating on a clock and not eating for windows of time or doing fasting or intermittent fasting, they believe that by doing that, they are encouraging the cells of their skin to eat themselves, therefore eating away at some of that loose skin and shrink the skin on the body. I'm sorry to tell you that has not been my experience. Now, everyone's going to have a different plan, but that has not worked for me. That's all I got to say about that. If it's worked for you, that's fine. This could be your choice to be experimental, and that's okay. Choice C. This is a third choice. I'm trying to match them up with the letters, so it makes it easier for you to remember. But choice C is cosmetic surgery. Some of you might have thought about that, especially if you were in the camp where you feel like more anxiety about skin, right? That happens to a lot. I get the question all the time. I'm afraid to start Dirty Lazy Keto because I know I'll lose all this great weight, but then I'll have to do all this surgery. Is that what you did, Stephanie? And I'm like, no, I did not. If you choose to do any kind of cosmetic surgery, that's up to you. That's a real personal choice. And I support you, whatever you think is right for you. I do want to try to calm you down, though, if this is something that's just scaring you and you're so afraid of starting or you're so afraid of losing weight, all because of cosmetic surgery. That I want to try to relax you a little bit and calm you down, because I don't think that that is a requirement. I have not had skin removal surgery. I still have all my loose skin. I want to reach up and pull this beautiful balloon here because this is still me. I'm all tucked in, but I'm still here. And I'm okay with that. I'm doing great. So I just want to reassure you that cosmetic surgery is not a requirement, and it may not be in your future. And that's okay too. But if you choose to do it, that's fine. I do want to acknowledge the fact that cosmetic surgery of any kind is very expensive, right? People are always asking me, does insurance cover it? It might, if you can choose, or if you can show that you're having a medical need. Depends on probably your insurance plan and your deductible and your coverage and, you know, what you're willing to go through. The people who have had skin removal surgery, I'm hoping that they'll pipe up here and share their experience in the comments, because it can be very painful. It can have a very long recovery. There can be scarring, and it can be a real slippery slope in terms of, well, where do you start? Where do you stop? I think a lot of insurance plans might offer one benefit to do one area if it's a medical need, but then where do you go next? Do you move on to other things like non-medical needs? I don't know. It can be, you know, a real long rabbit hole to just go when it comes to cosmetic surgery. But again, this is your choice. If it works for you and it's important to you, then that's what you should do. And I will always support your decision, as long as it's done in a place of self-love and not self-loathing. Otherwise, I would try to talk you out of it. Choice D. Now, finally, we're going to get to D is what I did. Okay, so this is D for what I did. What I did during my weight loss journey is I made sure to eat a lot of protein at every meal. Now, I didn't count protein grams. Okay, I've talked about that in a whole protein separate video. But I just made sure to eat real food. You know, I showed my protein drink here just because I think it hits home about protein. But it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, I'm holding up a can of tuna fish. Really, you can have chicken, you can have bacon, you can have gyros, you can have tofu, whatever floats your boat. Just make sure you're having a little bit of protein at every meal. That's what I did, and I feel like it did help my body with the protein to kind of help the skin along the process. It probably didn't cure me, but whatever. I'm okay with that. I'm okay being the deflated balloon. The second strategy I used under the D, do what I do, is, this is my cute little happy guy. Isn't he so cute? And this is my water and sunshine symbol. For me, like drinking a lot of water, making sure that I was totally hydrated all the time, every day, consistently, and getting outside in the sun. Like for me, that just did wonders for my skin. It made me feel alive and healthy, and it made me look better. It had a little glow. I definitely did a lot of toning during my weight loss journey. I want to show you my beautiful yoga mat with this cool case that I got at TJ Maxx. It's got grass on it because I have this in the backyard right now. It's so sunny out and nice. But I do yoga on a regular basis. I lift weights of various forms, and I do quite a bit of exercise. And for me, this helps me feel good about myself, number one, so emotionally, mentally, physically as well. But underneath all that loose skin, I feel like I have more muscle and tone. Now, that's not a requirement. I still have the loose skin, but I definitely feel like I'm stronger and healthier underneath that loose skin. So for me, that really works. Something else that's helped me in my journey, especially when we were talking about like rashes and, chafing and irritation, is using these fun little roll-on sticks in problem areas. I'm going to show you two different brands. One is called Body, the original chaff, whatever, stick. And the other one is Body Glide. And these are like little roll-ons. They're very inexpensive. And you just put them in areas where you tend to get, chafing or rubbing, where your skin might rub against each other. And so I just use that. Really helps. Another strategy I've used in terms of do what I do or do what I did is to wear compression garments. And what I'm talking about is tight-fitting clothing for exercise that kind of holds everything in. These are my favorite workout shorts currently, and I bought these on Amazon. They're pretty cheap, like $12. And I used to buy bicycle shorts at Walmart too, but I like these because they have pockets. Much better. Compression garments kind of hold everything in, especially for me, my upper thigh area and my lower abdomen. So I need to keep everything firmly pressed against myself to keep it from flopping around and getting irritated. And in the wintertime, I wear a thicker compression pants. Aren't these horrible? I love them. They're so cute. But I love these pants. They keep everything all sucked in. And that way when I'm running or exercising, things aren't flopping around, getting all irritated and chafed. So pretty simple. It's not like you just have to wear them for exercise though. I have found that using like the capri length, these are capri length, compression style pants can be wonderful underneath clothing, especially if I'm feeling kind of lumpy and, you know, out of sorts. It makes me feel all tucked in, a little bit smoother and tighter. And it's important though when you're shopping for compression undergarments or exercise clothing, don't get sucked into these thin, you know, fancy, like more, what do you call these? They're more like casual wear and super thin. These don't do anything. I will be out exercising or running and I see other people wearing these more trendy, you know, inexpensive type things from like Old Navy, or I shouldn't say that in case Old Navy wants to send me, you know, a bunch of free cool stuff. I'm just kidding. But some of these thinner types of pants and shirts, they don't do much. You're still flopping all over the place. And I'll see people out there and they're like miserable because nothing is being sucked in. So look for a really tight compression. I think it makes a big world of difference. Now, it doesn't have to be just exercise. You know, I think a lot of us want to feel better in our skin. We talked about self-confidence and feeling attractive. That's just as important when it comes to talking about losing weight and getting used to the loose skin and tolerating it. There's a lot of different options, right? Like I'll show you my really embarrassing underwear, and I know I'm going to regret this, showing this in camera. These are like compression underwear that come up way high. And I have these in a couple of different colors, like in beige and black. This one's charcoal, in different fabrics. And they're okay. If I really need that situation to be tucked in, my lower menopausal apron area, if I need that all sucked in and tightened up, those are great to have. And there's a variety of different styles. I know these can get very expensive. I tend to buy most of mine at Ross or TJ Maxx or some kind of a discount store. But this is like a bathing suit more style example that tucks between the legs. They also have these with shorts or long sleeves or cap sleeves, some with bras, some without. They can get really expensive. And here's the thing. They're kind of a nightmare to put on, wouldn't you agree? They're kind of a nightmare to put on. They can make you feel worse about yourself, squeezing in like a little sausage. That's how I feel anyway. And they're hard to go to the bathroom. I don't know. So I reserve wearing those types of outerwear compression, you know, or everyday wear, I should say. I kind of reserve it for more special occasions, like if I'm going to be photographed or like a wedding, or I don't know. I'm going to be on the show today and need to show you something. Should I show you what I have on? Do you want to see? So today I'm wearing one of my favorite jeans. I will back up and show you. These are a low-rise jeans. These are my Miss Me's. Super cute, right? But here's the thing. They're like made for the younger, you know, junior style people. So it has like a low waist. And otherwise, my muffin top would be like, and it's not a muffin top of muffinness. It's just loose skin. So I wear these pull up, woo, and it helps me tuck everything in. And then I wear like a loose shirt over. And then I'm good to go. There's nothing spilling over the edge. So I know I'm totally going to regret that, showing you that later, but I hope that was helpful. If I don't feel like doing all that kind of stuff, which is kind of a lot, because they can still feel hard to get in. They can still kind of roll down, roll up, you know, it can still feel uncomfortable. One of my go-to like lower commitment types of things that I'll do is I'll wear a compression tank top underneath clothing, like underneath a sweater or a dress. So this is just a plain black compression, inexpensive, tight tank top. And I feel like it just kind of smooths me, you know, especially my back area, like right here. And wherever I have that kind of loose skin, it just kind of smooths it out. And I also will wear these exercise shorts. These are like Under Armour. They're not supposed to be compression underwear, but under a dress or under a pair of jeans or something where I kind of feel self-conscious, it really does suck everything in and keep it in place. And I'll just wear those, either of these two things underneath my clothes. I feel like it helps a lot. Is that helpful to you? I hope so. I think it's a journey. As you can see while I'm talking about D, like what did I do? I think you can tell that it took some time, maybe in the way I'm sharing these stories. It took time for me to embrace like who I was and my new part of my personality. I remember I was running a race and I felt really uncomfortable. Like I felt like my skin on my legs was flopping around. And sure enough, when I got my first race photos back from my first run that I ever did, my legs, the skin on my legs was flopping so much that it looked like I was a burn victim. And I don't mean to say that in any disrespect to someone who has suffered through that, but that's how I looked in the photos. There was so much texture in the skin that was flopping in the pictures that I was mortified. I was really embarrassed. And it didn't happen overnight for me to transition from feeling that way about myself to, you know, where I'm at today, which is a lot more confident and a lot more open about how that journey took place. I remember at one point, you know, worrying, like, are people looking at me during the race? Are people wondering if I'm a burn victim because my skin looks so weird? And I remember I actually made this little badge for myself, which is, I don't know if it's sad or something I should be proud of. But I remember I made this little badge for myself and I put it on my waistband, which was like a fanny pack. And it just made me feel a little better. It's like, well, if someone's wondering about all my weird loose skin flopping around, they'll see this and then they'll know why. And I remember I was running in LA and I came upon a fellow runner. He was about my pace, a very handsome young man. And he had a t-shirt on of himself, a big giant picture of himself on his t-shirt of his before. And he was very heavy in the before picture, like 400 pounds. And then here I am seeing him running next to me. And he was as slim and healthy as can be. And he had almost like my badge, but in a t-shirt format. So we ran together and we became friends. I mean, here's the thing. It didn't happen overnight, but embracing my loose skin, embracing the process, it did not stop me from achieving my dreams. I just kept going. You know, I figured out little ways around it. I learned to love myself. I learned to take just one day at a time, one little bit of skin at a time, and say positive things to myself and feel good about what I had done and what I had accomplished. It's true. I think one of my most prized moments was I had applied to a contest with Power Bar, and it was about overcoming obstacles. And they wanted to hear stories from people around the country who had overcome huge obstacles to become a runner. And I took, oh no, I'm going to cry. Stop. Okay, so I told them my story, and I was selected out of thousands and thousands of people around the world to go to New York City and to run the New York City Marathon as a sponsored athlete from Power Bar, which is crazy because here I was like with my skin flopping around and like running slow and definitely not an athlete. But I got to go to the VIP wing, to the elite section of the marathon. I got to start at a different time from everybody else. I got to go to special dinners with Olympics and people that were actually, you know, running like super duper fast. And it was amazing. Afterward, just to show you what can happen when you embrace your skin. This is a cover of the New York Post, which is, you know, hugely read in the New York area. And You might recognize someone here. Let's see if I can flip to the right page. There we go. Let's see if you can see the article. I'll have to turn my hands around. It says, "Way to go, ladies." And it was a highlight about the New York City Marathon. Can you see it okay? You know, sometimes the little banners cover things up, so I'll move it. Anyway, this is in the New York Post, and it was a full feature article. And there was a big giant picture of me running the New York City Marathon and a whole story about my weight loss as well. And I was like, well, all right then. I mean, hey, you've got to choose what path is going to be right for you. There was A, there was B, C, and D. I hope that you will be brave and choose what answer or what path you want to take or that you have taken. And I hope that you'll explain why in the comments. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. So if you think the donut diet is right for you, I might have more work to do to talk to you and change your mind. If you think B, being experimental, is the best path for you, then you should do it. If you think C, cosmetic surgery, is going to be a better path for your future, I understand. And D, you could always do what I did. So I hope that you will share which path is going to be your plan, or maybe pick and choose a little bit of here and there. That's okay too. But just own it, and go for it, and make it a plan, make it your intention, and then take time to work toward it. It's not going to happen overnight, but just be real about it. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video about how to manage your loose skin due to weight loss. I hope that the big takeaway here is that, and I hope this came, very genuine to all of you, is that I don't think managing loose skin should hold you back from changing your life. I would be very sad if that was the case and would want to talk to you further. So don't let it stop you. I mean, you can still achieve your dreams, floppy skin and all. So if you haven't already, I hope that you left some comments and gave the video a thumbs up, of course, and also maybe share your favorite takeaway, because I am here to help you. I want to keep it real. I want to keep it really honest. The message for you is that you don't have to be perfect to be successful at weight loss. And I feel like that's the underlying philosophy of Dirty Lazy Keto. So if I can do this, remember that picture I showed you earlier? Let's see. I'll show you again. Hey, if I can do this, so can you. I mean, transformation is really possible. And I believe that you can do this. So don't give up. I just wanted to say thank you for listening. I appreciate your support. This is a community, Dirty Lazy Keto. We have to help each other. We're in this together, my friends. It's not easy, is it? We gotta support one another. So if you found today's video to be helpful, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and then subscribe to the Dirty Lazy Keto YouTube channel. Turn on your notifications so you'll never miss an update. You can also find me on Instagram at Dirty Lazy Keto. And for more information about any of my support groups or any of my books, you can always go to dirtylazyketo.com for more information. I'm here to support you. I'm here to help. I know you can do it.